How does a snow hut stay warm inside? The Eskimo people. It is certain that one day you watched a scene, a series or a documentary, of an Eskimo person wearing fur and heavy clothes standing in front of a house full of snow, and from the questions that revolve in the mind of most people when they watch this scene, how can a person he lives inside a house made of snow? The weather in the polar regions is cold, and the snow is also cold. That is why the topic at first seems illogical, but in reality it is a very logical and normal topic, and these houses are not cartoon films. Snow houses or LA Claus really exist, and they are built by the Eskimos who live in the polar regions to this day. The Arctic region is one of the most extreme environments on Earth, from the coast of North America to northeastern Siberia, but despite that and despite the extreme cold, in this place and the harsh climatic conditions. However, there is a struggling people who have been able to live and withstand in this place for thousands of years, and this people is the Eskimo people. The Eskimos who live in the Arctic regions are in harmony with the lifestyle there and do not like to leave the place in which they live at all, despite the fact that there are no cities, facilities, or any landmark, among the features of urbanization and urbanization. All that exists is behavior, and a very harsh lifestyle. In the beginning, we will talk about a marginal topic, which is that the Eskimo people do not like this talk at all. The word Eskimo is derived from a term given to strange people, who speak a different language in addition, but it refers to people who eat raw meat and prefer to be called by people as Inuit, instead of Eskimo, not Inuit. In their language it means people. The Inuit people live in icy areas, where the temperature in winter reaches -50°C, and anyone who lives in a cold climate like this should look for a shelter and a house to live in, whether it is built of bricks or metal, or even built of timber. But, unfortunately, the Arctic region does not have any of these things at all, and even the trees and forests in the place are almost non-existent, so the residents of the place learn to build their homes with the only thing available to them, which is snow. For thousands of years, the Inuit people have resorted to building igloos. It resembles a dome, and these houses are known as igloos, and the question here is, how do these icy houses warm them up? Physically, snow can warm you and maintain your body temperature. In order to understand this dilemma, we will talk about the story of an animal called the sea otter or the cipitur. The otter is an animal that feeds on fish and sea creatures, so it is forced to live in cold waters, but at the same time there is no thick skin on its body, nor thick fatty tissues that protect it from the cold, so it uses something very strange to keep warm, which are air molecules. The otter's fur is dense and has a very soft texture, and the secret of its heating is due to the composition of its fur texture, which is specific to it from the inside. The otter's fur is precisely tapered, to the point that it can trap air particles inside it, and at the same time, air is considered an excellent thermal insulator. So the heat inside the otter's body does not easily escape outside. This is because the air trapped on his fur, from the outside, allows heat to escape from his body, and because of this subject, he is exposed to temperatures. It is very low and does not feel cold, glory be to God. Simply, what we would like to say is that air is a good heat insulator, even if we find a type of snow that contains an appropriate proportion of air. This would be something suitable for the construction process. Here, we are in the Eskimo playground. They have a lot of experience with snow, and its type and characteristics. That is, if you ask them how many types, you know the types of snow. In their language, they have a large number of different words and terms that express snow, and they can describe it in dozens of different terms, which are so eloquently formulated to describe its kind and its present condition, and this is simply because it is most of what is around them and what they understand most about it. There is a type of snow, they call it solid, dusty snow, and this snow is 10% frozen water and 90% air, and it is in the form of layers on the surface of the earth in icy areas, and this type of snow is very suitable for the construction process. Because it is solid and can bear, and because it contains a high percentage of air, and since air is an excellent insulator, this type is suitable for insulating the building from the inside. Therefore, an igloo or igloo hut maintains the temperature inside it and does not allow it to leak out through the walls, just like a thermos. This is what is originally required in the heating process, so that the heat that is in the body or that is around us, in the house, does not leak out. It is worth noting that the bottom of the igloo is not a flat surface, but the space, from the inside, is carved and consists of several levels. The entrance to the house is very low, then there is a second level, a little higher, in which a fire is lit, or tasks such as cooking and others are carried out. Finally, the last level is the upper place, in which they sleep. This tiered system is intended. And it has a very important role because hot air, by its nature, rises to the top because it is light, and cold air naturally descends and settles at the bottom, and therefore any heat present in the place, whether resulting from the fire, which is ignited inside, or even the heat that radiates from the bodies of all the occupants, without exception, rises to up. And hovering around the people living in the upper area, and at the same time, the walls of the hut are heat insulating, and all of these things together make the atmosphere warm inside the hut, and the temperature, from the inside, reaches 10 degrees, or even 15 degrees Celsius, and if you feel that the temperature is still very cold outside, it's minus 50 degrees Celsius, so that's good. An experienced individual from the Eskimo can build a small hut, alone, in only about 3 hours, while large huts that accommodate large individuals, such as a whole family, building their own hut, can take 2 days or more. It is strange that with the radical progress that took place in building systems and modern architecture systems, no one has discovered a method of building an igloo better than the method used by the Eskimos in action. The spiral method, and the outer structure, which is in the form of a dome, is a very stable construction, and there are no edges or wasted spaces. Whoever has experience in the engineering field will know that a building in this way distributes all loads and vertical forces, and transforms it into horizontal forces inside the ground, so that the building is stable and resistant to strong winds and storms.